So I don't know if you heard the good news today because, well, today's actually a massive day for Call of Duty. We're gonna have a lot of stuff coming throughout the day, not only a second upload, but also something coming a little bit later as a recap, probably tomorrow. But regardless, what really first dropped today earlier in the morning was some massive news that for players on Xbox, well, it's absolutely incredible, but for everybody else, it's still kind of unfortunate. But out of nowhere, Modern Warfare 3 was made backwards compatible for Xbox One users. So for those of you guys that don't know exactly what backwards compatibility is, you can put simply your Xbox 360 disc in your Xbox One and it'll read it as if you were playing on your 360, but you don't need to bring out your old clunky Xbox 360 that's probably gathering dust somewhere. Instead, you can play it from the comfort of your up-to-date Xbox One, Xbox One X, or whatever Xbox console you have currently. Now, first things first, this is absolutely awesome, and it's exactly the same as you remember it. If you end up jumping on installing this, it's about a 10.5 gigabyte patch or something like that, I believe, to allow you to play on backwards compatibility on your Xbox One. But if you do that, you install it and you jump right into it, literally everything is the same. The only difference is that you have the additional boot up sequence of the solo soldier before jumping into the classic Xbox 360 boot animation. Other than that, the intro is the same, the menu's the same, weapons, spec ops, campaign, maps, you name it. All of that is identical. Everything's identical to that of the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and what was the PC version as well of Modern Warfare 3. And one thing to note that is because it's not a remaster and simply backwards compatible, it might seem like a Captain Obvious statement here, but you're still on Xbox 360 connections as well, so even that is identical. That means no dedicated servers for Modern Warfare 3, and it's still peer-to-peer connection, which can be at times pretty bad, but with the possible increase in player numbers with this being backwards compatible now, and everybody being able to play it on their up-to-date console and not going back, theoretically it should help with better connections simply because you have more of a player base to choose from and connect with. So hopefully that's something that is actually made better and not something that is entirely identical to that of the playing experience on 360 as of say a week ago. But that said, it is backwards compatible right now if you want to jump on. And if you guys don't have the disc right now for Modern Warfare 3 on Xbox 360, you either lost it, you don't have access to your 360, and if it's maybe in that, or if it's something you just don't have it in general, you never played Modern Warfare 3, that's something in which you can actually get it on the Xbox Marketplace right now for a decent deal. Granted, I still think some of these games, paying for them 7 years later is still kind of weird in that sense, but it is something that it is still a game you have to buy. But if you were to go on the Marketplace on Xbox right now, you can get Modern Warfare 3 for $15, plus all of its DLC packs are on sale also. So while they're not bundled together, they are cheaper than that of what they would be previously if you were to go, say, and go back to 360 and buy them on there. So in that sense, if you don't have it, you can get it for a little bit cheaper compared to what you would having to buy it outright, again, back on the 360 or so, but that's just something that, again, if you don't have it, maybe check it out like that. But today, I don't really want to talk about and recap every feature that's exactly the same. Today, I want to talk a little bit about what this might mean for the future of backwards compatibility for Call of Duty titles, and more specifically, the Modern Warfare series in general, because as you guys know, we're now only missing one thing here out of that Modern Warfare series, in which that's Modern Warfare 2, and then also, this might have some implications for the future of what a lot of people may have hoped for with Modern Warfare 3. So that said, first things first, what does this mean exactly for Modern Warfare 3 right now? How is this really gonna help out the title at the very moment? Well, the big thing, of course, is that resurgence of player count. Whenever I checked this out earlier in the day, it was something that it jumped up 1,000 or so players right on the snap of a finger, essentially, whenever you booted it up for the first time, and you saw what it was compared to yesterday across the globe, and also what is now available there. But that was immediately. It could have gone up by a couple more thousand since you watched this video, into which, if it is something that you have the opportunity to play, I definitely suggest doing so. So in that sense, it's absolutely awesome for the title, in which we can end up seeing that it's going to have another resurgence here with this. We saw a couple of months back, Black Ops have 100,000 plus players on it years after it was the main title, and to which that still was kind of an anomaly. We don't know if that was a glitch, if it was something in which there was supposedly a German YouTuber that sent a ton of their players onto that game to try and get that player count back up, but we don't know exactly what the case was. I don't think that it's going to get to that point, but it is nice to see one of the fan favorites and most beloved get that attention in 2018 that honestly I think that it could deserve. Whenever I did my video talking about Modern Warfare 3 in 2018, a lot of people said that it was modded and everything like that, but primarily on the PlayStation 3 end. So unfortunately, that's kind of the situation that won't be changed, but with 360 being something that is now compatible with Xbox One, that should bring Modern Warfare 3 up to a more prominent standing in the 2018 gameplay scene. But the biggest thing to me out of this is one that's maybe a little bit alarming to some people, because to me, by making Modern Warfare 3 backwards compatible, it signals that there's no remaster of Modern Warfare 3 even planned in the pipeline, let alone coming on the horizon anytime soon. That's something that it really comes down to the business nature of how we end up seeing these titles handled when it comes to remasters or backwards compatibility. We saw everything within the backwards compatibility scene either not have a remaster, that's something with the entire World at War, older Call of Duties as well before, I think it's COD 2 and 3 were backwards compatible or something like that, but then we also ended up seeing Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 being backwards compatible. Those had no remasters. Then we ended up seeing some things like even COD 4 had a backwards compatibility update, but that was after Modern Warfare Remastered was released. That happened at the end of March this year, so completely after the end of Modern Warfare Remastered when that was all being taken into account. So that was something that happened afterwards. Modern Warfare 2 didn't have something, and that's still the only one we are missing from the Modern Warfare series that is not backwards compatible, and that's something that I think firmly comes down to that whole situation of Modern Warfare 2 Remastered that happened a few months back. Personally, I know a lot of people think that's complete garbage and would never happen, but it is something that honestly I trust the people that reported that, because I know some of them personally, and I know that they would not report on some of that stuff if they weren't 1000% sure that their sources' information was accurate and genuine. So whether or not that's something that's just been pushed off to the side, or it's something that we maybe will never see of and it got canceled, but as a result, Modern Warfare 2 backwards compatibility was pushed off to another date to be determined, and therefore it kind of messed up the release schedule of backwards compatibility for these titles. We don't know exactly if that's the case, but right now, as it stands, with nothing holding back what would cut into sales of a remaster for Modern Warfare 3, while it is there available to us now, again, to me, it just kind of indicates that we're not going to see a remaster at any point in time during the near future. So with the whole Modern Warfare series kind of being a holdout for those potential remasters that we saw back when the backwards compatibility program started and we started to see Call of Duty titles come into it, we ended up seeing that Modern Warfare was initially the first one being held off because we did eventually see that remaster, but then Modern Warfare 2 being that one held off for what may have been the campaign-only remaster, and then Modern Warfare 3 jumping immediately into it. It's just kind of weird. So I don't really expect Modern Warfare 3 to see that remastered treatment, at least in this console generation. Apparently 2020 is when we can start looking forward to the next start of the new console generations to follow after this one, but that's only rumors right now, so while we might not see a Modern Warfare 3 remaster on this console generation on the horizon, maybe it's not so far off anyway. Maybe we do end up seeing one being bundled with, say, not next year's Call of Duty title being developed by Infinity Ward, but maybe the one after that. Maybe we see a definitive version of everything being remastered for the next console generation of Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3. We don't know exactly, but that's something that, again, right now, to me, it just doesn't seem likely. So in that sense, if you are holding out hope for Modern Warfare 3 Remastered, maybe don't hold out so much hope at the very moment, but if you do have Xbox One, well, you can still relive those classic memories with everything intact. Everything from the hit detection maybe being a little dodgy, maybe those view kick headshots coming back to haunt you, maybe all of the good times, though, in the sense of the Moabs, the good times with friends, infected, one in the chamber, all that kind of cool stuff. Hopefully, the resurgence in players can bring back life to all those playlists. That'd be a lot of fun to see, but regardless, that is something that right now it is backwards compatible on Xbox One for Xbox users. Unfortunately, PlayStation 4 and PC are left out of the mix here at this one, but it is something if you want to check it out, feel free to. And once again, if you don't have it at the moment, it is something you can pick up for $15 on the Xbox Marketplace. Once again, not tied with the DLC, unfortunately. That's something that if you don't have that from your 360 account, you're going to have to buy it from the Xbox One Marketplace in that sense, but you also don't need any of the DLC in Modern Warfare 3. It's completely optional. The game's still fantastic without it, but want to let you guys know about everything here at this, let you know that Modern Warfare 3 is backwards compatible for those of you guys that did not know about it, did not hear the news, and also wanted to give you my perspective on it because, again, I think it's a little bigger than simply just, hey, Modern Warfare 3 is backwards compatible. It does have some ulterior implications as to what this could mean for the future of Call of Duty titles, and more specifically the Modern Warfare series in general, being that whole potential remaster that we saw a couple of years back being held out initially from the backwards compatibility compatibility program, but now with 2 of the 3 already backwards compatible, it seems like we won't have much more on the horizon, and certainly not for Modern Warfare 3, because if you are trying to sell something, it wouldn't be the greatest idea to offer it up for free for a third of the player base. So in that sense, I don't think we'll see it, but that said, let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Let me get your thoughts on all of this. Are you guys gonna jump on for Modern Warfare 3 backwards compatibility? Were you guys holding out hope for a Modern Warfare 3 remaster, and do you see it how I do, where you don't think it might be as possible now? Whatever it may be, feel free to let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. I'm excited. Maybe you can catch me online playing some Modern Warfare 3 later today, and if so, feel free to send me a message saying hi. But that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure you drop a like down below. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 backwards compatibility like this. Call of Duty World War II DLC 3 just got announced today, so we're going to be talking about that in a video later tonight. Stick it here on the channel if you guys are interested in that. Anything regarding Call of Duty, though, we got you covered, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, that's the best place to get connected with me outside of YouTube. Practically live on Twitter, so if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. And finally, if you guys want to follow me over on Instagram as well, getting a little bit more active over there, so if you guys want to follow on that front also, that link is down there in the description below as well. All that said and out of the way, hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you all so much for watching. Mine's been Espresso. Take care, and peace.